Hey everybody, Pastor Vern with your daily update for August 11th, 2020, as we continue to move through a changed world. A changed world I see a lot of potential in, though. I see a lot of opportunity to spread the gospel and to share the strength that is given to us by relationship with Christ in today's world when there's so much stuff is out of our control. I'm going to lift up to you in the next couple days, this probably the rest of this week. We're going to talk about some of the books in the Old Testament who have more than one book to the book, so to speak, first and seconds kind of things. First one we're going to talk about is First and Second Samuel. Originally, it was written in the Hebrew Bible. It is just Samuel. It's not split into books. In the English Bible, when it was translated, they split it into two categories, two books, and partly because the story did kind of have a natural breaking point in it, where they could go from one story to the other. The book of Samuel tells the stories of Samuel and Eli and Saul, David, Goliath, Nathan. It has a lot of stuff in there, a lot of good stories that we use to relate to how God was working with His people in that time period in ancient days, I guess you would say. The book of Samuel in the first part talks a lot about how the kingdom is going to be developed, how the kingdom of God is going to come about, and along with those stories of the heroes of that particular book. The second book we'll talk about tomorrow. It has more to do with a particular king's reign, and we'll cover that a little bit more. Samuel was started out as a prophet and prolific prophet, called one of the writing prophets because he wrote a lot of stuff down. The book of Samuel is too, like I say, is quite long and has been split in the English Bible into two books from the original one. As a writing prophet, he was known to, instead of just, as we see with many of the other prophets, they go out and proclaim these things to whoever they're sent to talk to. Amos was sent to the kings. Joel was sent to the people. Whatever it may have been, he wrote things down for posterity. And a lot of what he was writing down had to do with the kingdom to come, the kingdom of God to come onto the earth. And so we get some insight there on what from his perspective was going to have to all happen for the kingdom of God to come to earth. And I think this is the first book where we really get the mention of the word Messiah in the scriptures. It's not uttered by Samuel, but by someone else, but he recorded it. It was used by a woman in the reading there. So you kind of see that he is looking very far forward, and he also worked at a time where Israel was in a very high plane for civilization, which allowed his work to be more undisturbed. He didn't have to be quite as concerned with the things going on around him that threatened Israel. It is probably one of the books in the Old Testament, when the history books, that give us more insight than most of the books, because it covers such a long or wide variety of individuals and events. It's fairly good reading. In fact, the stories kind of move along, especially we get Goliath, we get Saul and David, people who were quite prolific characters in the Old Testament. All right. Well, that's going to kind of do it for today. Tomorrow we'll talk a little more about 2 Samuel, and that leads us into a little different conversation, as the 1 Samuel is basically has a lot to do about Samuel himself and those issues of the kingdom. And then the second one has a little different connotation. So y'all take good care of yourselves. Watch out for others as best you can. Stay safe, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.